so there's no drumming right now. It's coming, I promise. And you'll want to stick around for it because it's great. And we do not have the blessing of the space. But we are going to start with our chalice lighting to get the evening started. So we can come together for a moment so we can start our chalice lighting. And that's where I would like a new member of our Board of Trustees to come up and light the chalice. And it's our habit here. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, for the light of truth, and for the energy of action. So hi all, in case you don't know me, I'm Lori Quigley, and on behalf of the South Valley Board of Trustees, I want to extend our very grateful welcome to all of you who are here with us tonight, and also to the many people who wish they were here, but they're out of town away. It is summer, and but they have sent their expressions of love and appreciation for Patty and Lou as well. We come here tonight to celebrate and remember the wonderful 6 years that we've had with Reverend Patty Willis as our minister and Mary Lee Prince as our music director. A few weeks ago, or I guess it's really a few months ago, when Reverend Patty announced that she and Lou would be leaving our congregation, I think we all felt a real sense of sadness and loss. But it's important to Patty that we have a good goodbye. And that's what we hope occurs here tonight. As one of my heroes, Dr. Seuss, wrote, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." We want tonight to be filled with fond memories, celebration of accomplishments, and the giving of blessings and good wishes as we all move forward to a new chapter in our lives. And yes, we will probably share some tears of sadness because it's never easy to say goodbye to people we love. So Patty and Lou, I want to start this part of our evening with our gratitude and a blessing from an unknown author. I wish I had written the words, but should the voyage of life bear us on our separate courses, forget not that the same stars that shine over us, that we are warmed by the same sun, that we belong to the same human family, that the same ideals stir within our hearts. While we are absent from one another, we are with us, we are together. Blessed be. And now we will move on to the choir.
Is my hero. She took an interest in everything. Her unseeing eyes sparkled in photographs. She seemed to always be in the middle of learning something. She didn't want to hear from someone else about how something was. She wanted to experience it herself with her highly developed senses of smell and touch. When her teacher, Annie Sullivan, taught her about animals, she asked to experience a lion. Her teacher made sure that the caretakers fed the lion well, touched the lion from head to toe. And years later, she learned about dance by moving onto a dance floor with Martha Graham and her dancers. She learned the joy of leaping and dancing and how it felt to have rhythms flowing through her. She didn't say, "May I have this dance?" She said, "I will join this dance." We sing in gratitude for the way that all of you have joined in this dance of shared ministry.
Mom, are you guys all?
In my first year of ministry here, in fact, in my first 3 years, I talked with my mentor, Reverend Nancy Anderson, every month. She always had questions for me, and once she asked me, "Can your congregation minister to you?" I thought about this for a long time, and I wondered if it was a trick question. I began to get into that mode I was in high school, where I was thinking, answer does the teacher want? I kept coming up against a wall, and I gave the answer I felt was safest. No, ministry is for me to do. And she said, of course they minister to you. And you have ministered to me. One of the important ways of ministry to me is embodied in the group of people who are going to come up and share this time with me. They were people who believed enough in the future of our shared ministry that they stepped up to leadership. They were willing to share my burdens and vulnerable enough to dream the future of this community. And what we did together looked a lot like a dance. And often I would say what my own dance teacher said: the worst mistake you can make is to be afraid of stepping on my toes. And I hope that our ministry was a dance. I hope it was more than like I was some kind of band leader. I hope that I was one of those fun people, which I really am not at a dance. You know, one of those fun people who gets out there and then everybody comes to dance. But I hope I was that way with ministry. Someone who invited you to come in and share in building our community. And so I'm just going to mention what has to be mentioned. That probably the biggest gift I brought with me was Mary Lou Prince. And I think that helps you understand why I had to make the decision I did to leave, because it's healthier for her. And I hope that makes you so angry that when there are environmental rallies at the Capitol, that you're there. I hope that you are there. I now invite, I'm not going to say the other things I have, which are kind of the more general things I saw, but I would like to invite the other the board presidents who shared this ministry with me to come up for this time. Laura was first, Laura Renshaw, and we had 2 years.
Gosh, it's hard to know where to start. So I'll start on day one. My very first day as board president was July 1st, 2012, as our cycle runs. Presidents are elected at the May meeting and then you start in July. And so it fell on a Sunday. July 1st was the first day. And the very first thing I had to do, just hours into being the board president, was sign a contract for Patty to become our minister. And the previous board had done all the work, and I don't know, was there a search committee? Do you know? Yes? Okay. Yeah. So, and this is part of what it's like to be on the board. There's a lot of trust in what's come before, and so I didn't really know exactly everything, all the details, but I did know that I trusted back in the previous board, and so I signed that contract for Patty to be our minister. What an exciting first day as board president. And so there's been so much that's happened over the past 6 years, and it all sort of runs together, and it's hard to remember what are the things that came to be during Patty's time. In that first year, there was actually a lot that we accomplished, and I'm grateful to Sandra Roach. She put together a really nice list of accomplishments. I think it was 9 pages, so not of just the first year, but of all the 6 years. And so as I looked over some of the things that happened during that first year, it was amazing to me to be reminded We searched for a DRE. I guess Liz wasn't with us yet, and so I'd forgotten that actually came to pass too. We didn't have Monday menus. We really didn't have. We had tried a lot of times to have a successful adult RE program, but it had been stop and go, and we really didn't have anything that took hold as well as Monday menus did that first year. We started looking at our building a lot more, and that's one of the gifts that I think that Patty has given us, is that she's done a lot of asking us to look at ourselves and to think about what we can do better. And she helped us see that maybe we weren't as welcoming as we could be. There were some things in our building that maybe weren't welcoming. Was that ashtray in the front when you got here? The first thing you saw when you walked into the building was an ashtray. So that's not there anymore. And there's been lots of other changes, from the chairs to the carpet. That first year we really, we were adding the solar panels. So that was a big accomplishment, and a way to do something huge that was going to help us financially, and that was a way to live our principles. We didn't have happenings. That came to be. So communication was a big thing. We didn't have the teal handles. So there's so many little things like that might seem like not much individually, but together made us really look at a lot of things and how we could be more cohesive, communicate with each other better, and be looking out to how we can welcome new people more effectively. So one first year I was so glad to be on the board. One of the benefits of serving in leadership is that you get to work closely with the minister, and I've had many meetings in Patty's office that began by the ringing of the chime and just closing eyes and deep breathing and centering, and it's just been special to work closely with her. Turn it over to the next president.
I'm Laura Shantz, and mine will be half as long as hers because she served for 2 years and I served for 1 month. Actually, I was on her board towards the end, and Tom Kimball wanted me to be president the following year, which I insisted strongly. It's not kind of like me, but the board was very healthy emotionally and very strong, and there were a couple of people that actually both wanted to be co-president with me. So it was a time when people were definitely stepping out to be a leader. And so the things that I'm going to say, I want to include Cynthia Dodson in this because she was co-president with me. And I agree with Laura's sentiments that working with Patty made the job so much easier. It really actually wasn't anywhere near as hard as I thought it was going to be. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's easier to do it when you say those words again, but it's what's come to mind for me, an emotionally healthy minister to work with, and also the members on the board itself. I didn't put together all of their names because I wanted to keep it short, but every person that was on the board that year, I felt they were engaged, and it was a cohesive group, and all very hardworking. And this is just a sample of some of the things that we accomplished that year, just from the board itself. We created our mantra that we still use now. We had 2 congregational meetings that year. We wanted to work on some things like that. We revised the mission statement at that meeting and spent a lot of effort really trying to tidy up some of our bylaws. And something that was important to me that I think we started some work on was trying to make reflect back and realize that it really was a pretty good year. As far as what work that was going on in the church itself that year, I definitely want to mention the work that Rosie did. And I mean, the carpet that we have now, I mean, it was an enormous effort. So I know that went into that. Heading up like you went for everybody that participated in that process. So I'm going to turn it over now to
Today is my last day as board president. Yay. Just for the record, I never sought for the job. I didn't want the job. I saw it as an absolute need to just, fill in and see what I could do to help. I also want you to know that the progress that we made during the time that I was president was not me. It was you and the other people, all these people that are working so hard. I can't emphasize that anymore. That, I had no particular good vision. In fact, as I thought about it, there was a sad part to my portion. It started out with Patty's parents passing away. A little later on, she had a bout with cancer, and you all know how she won that battle. And we end now with her leaving under my. It was not my fault. None of it. We had started some very good building improvements, and starting with the carpet. But it was the Christmas gift idea, and the idea that you folks were out there giving. And the next year, which was under I was able to observe the fixing of the bathrooms and the social hall and all the improvements that we had there, including the kitchen. Now, I just wanted, somebody was saying to me, when you have a lot of these, financial outreaches during Christmas time, what happened to all that money? So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about that here, including the social hall, including the tile all the way back. I mean, there was so many improvements, not to mention, of course, the Connie Gates Library. Those things happened right there at the very beginning. And now, with the more recent one, you haven't seen the results there yet. We call it the welcoming drive, which I wonder, did you notice the absence of the awful sign out in front? It was, and we didn't take it down just because Patty's leaving. It looked bad otherwise. And it was, and by the way, that sign thing was a real challenge. I mean, it took us about 2 or 3 years of people saying yes, yes, no, 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 just to find out, by the way, just a few weeks ago, I got a phone call from the city saying, you can replace your signs, but you can't put new ones up. You're not zoned that way. I was just lucky. The person on the other end of the line, working for the city, happened to be my former student. I said, did you like me or not? He said he liked me. Anyway, he told me no, by the way, right off the bat, because we're residential, we couldn't build a sign. By the way, I said, well, then let's look for a variance, let's do this, let's do that, whatever's necessary. He said, well, we haven't found anything for churches. So I said, well, keep me in the loop. And he did. and everything's okay. It was supposed to be out at the beginning of June. I know that many people said, hey, it wasn't at the beginning of June. I told Cindy that it would be the 21st of June. Anyway, it'll be the 3rd of July. And everything is okay. We will have the signs out in front. And that's just the things that I know about. Cindy also tells me that at the end of this month, at the end of July, that we'll have new doors, and we will have new doors at the front here and the new entryway here. Again, all for the purpose of welcoming, and it all costs money. And I'm so glad that you folks are willing to donate your time, your talents, your efforts to make this all work. And to be honest, the success that I noticed was that I asked people to step up, and they did. And I'm only going to mention one of the ones. I should mention all of them, but I was just damn lucky that I saw what Paula, I heard, was doing, and said to her, would you mind being the facilities chair? And she did an awful lot of effort and a lot of the fine little points, I mean, including the vents here. I mean, all sorts of little things that make for a very good environment. And I want you to know, it isn't me, it is you, and I thank you very much for the privilege.
Well, there's a reason I waited to be last, because I couldn't do year by year. I was the co-president with Jan, but I was also the person who said, here, Lord, here's a contract. You get a sign. So, had the privilege of starting with this young lady. Sorry. I believe it was at Paul's house when we had the first conversation with her. And she rolled the dice, and it was wonderful. I didn't know how to start this with, it was a dark and stormy night. Oh shit, there we were. I hope the kids are out of the room now. But we were in a place of uncertainty, scarcity, fear. It was not a good time. And look at us now. We've got confidence. We've got community presence. And we've got a great friend for life. All I can say is thanks to everybody here. Great.
I'm just going to mention, thank you. It has been such an honor and pleasure and wonder to feel our board meetings, which the first one I went to, Mel Gunderson was sitting next to me, and somebody said something, and we were just all going, woo, like this. She grabbed my hand and she said, it's going to be a rough ride. And now, and then actually quite soon, our board meetings became joyful. And we were able to have hard conversations. We have become able to talk about our past and talk about our hard times. We have had some hard times together and some really mostly easy times in my estimation, lots of easy times. And I just want to lift up a ministry that is very close to my heart, and that is our prayer shawl ministry. And I wonder, but I'm not going to ask, because I know this always goes in a bad direction. But there are so many shawls and quilts out there in the community, and I am thankful to Lori Quigley, for I believe that that ministry made a huge, huge difference in this community. And then when I went to Standing Rock, and all of you blessed the shawl that I took to an elder there, who said to me, I said that this shawl was blessed by my congregation, and I told him about you, and he said to me, you are bringing good medicine. You have been good medicine. Thank you. Thank you. And we have now walked up that mountain together. We have walked up that mountain, and we have come to that place where Lou and I are going to take a leap, and all of you are taking a leap. And I have watched in the last few weeks as you have gone, all of us have gone from feeling sad and uncertain to there being an excitement within that sadness for what lies ahead. This was a song that Lou and I wrote after I returned from a trip I took to Guatemala when I was wondering about going to seminary 11 years ago. And I spoke with someone about this song last year because it talks about either will the angels' hands bear us up? And I was talking about that, and they said, you know, actually, often you fall as well, and the angels help you get up. But I know that this is not going to be easy, and I have so much faith in all of you, and hope. And I have hope in this ministry that Lou and I dream of. About a couple of weeks ago, Lou said to me, I think we're being called to that wall down there. And I feel a call to those detention centers. And you will be with me. We are on that holy mountain, so let us sing. And Mel Welliver, if you want to join us, you go right ahead. my time here, many pastors have supported this ministry through prayers, letters, phone calls, and gatherings. Many are among us today. And Pastor Vanetta, my sister, has kindly agreed to give Mary Lou and me a blessing on our way.
Greetings. Okay, I grew up Baptist first. If you don't answer me, this is going to be a long night. Greetings. When I was trained for ministry, we were told when you were invited into someone else's pulpit, you do what they tell you to do and go sit down. I'm going to break that rule. Because there's some things I won't say. Someone asked me a little while ago how long I had known Patty and Mary Lou. And I guessed it was right at 6 years. First thing I will tell you is, as pastors, we got a chance to talk. As friends, we got a chance to talk. Mary Lou was a very special lady. Because she knew that pastors needed time to talk about stuff she got tired of thinking about. So we could go off and have lunch, and then she could just have some space, and then we could all spend time together. I'm listening with the stories that you all are telling and hearing your voices, and I want to tell you, she loves you. We would sit together and talk in a restaurant, and we had to tip well because we'd spend like 3 hours. She loves you. You have her heart, and that will never change. I struggled with how to do this blessing. And I divided it into 3 parts, basically. The issue for all of us is time. The time that you spend together. There's time called Chronos time, and there's humans time. And it feels like that time is too short. There were not enough sunrises and not enough sunsets. There were not enough conversations and not enough hugs. There were not enough late night phone calls, desperate problems, deaths, funerals, bedside conversations. It was just not enough. And in human measure, it's hard to fix that. But remember, she loves you. And she brought the Creator's love to you. There's Kairos time. In my tradition, that's called God's time. That's what happens to the seeds that are planted, to new ministries that form, new ideas that are sparked, hugs and conversations. People who are well-fed, who are reminded of their affirmation of their worth and their entitlement to live in this world in peace and have their own ideas and own opinions. In Kairos time is where mission and vision is born, so that you found a way to be together and to be yourself, to be authentic, with humor, love, and genuine connections. Then there's future time, and I don't know where you put that between God and humans. It's the new unfolding. It's the new ideas, the new relationships, the new losses, the new covenants, the new friends, the new dance partners. It's all the things that we have to look forward to. As we walk into this moment in time and we stop, remember that she loves you. She has loved you from the beginning. She hasn't changed her mind. I am blessed because she loved me too. I am a black woman from Atlanta. Imagine moving to Utah. I train and do what they originally told me to do. Separate y'all from me. So they want to see. So if I put my back to them, that makes it hard. Awesome and loving God, thank you for this day. Thank you, God, for the time that we have to share. Thank you, God, for the time in humanity where we look at it and decide it's not enough. And it's hard to trust you with the decision for change. Thank you, God, for the Chronos time, for the time that we have experienced one another. We thank you for Kairos time, God, where you know what was wrong with us, you know what was needed, you know where we're going. You know what the building blocks are that will take us on that way. You know what the platform is that has been built that will launch us into the next time, into the future. I ask your blessing now, God, on my sisters. Give them, oh God, your great comfort. Remind them as they walk through these shifts in time that you have always been with them and you will never leave them. Bless them, oh God, in their rising up and lying down. Bless them in their new experiences, God. Bless them as they look back with fondness and remember. Bless them, oh God, when they take another leap of faith and they wonder who or what's out there to catch them. Bless them, oh God, as they lift up their hearts to you and their lives to you. Bless the people, God, they will leave behind. Let your Holy Spirit run with them, God. Encourage them and let them not forget the gifts they have received. God, we ask now that you bless this marriage. You bless these two women who have loved each other and supported each other and cared for each other. As they walk into a new journey, a new adventure, oh God, give them great joy, great happiness, great possibility, great fulfillment, and let them see them walking again in the destiny that you have designed for them. We pray these things, oh God, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Nothing I ever did in my life prepared me to be a minister's wife. And when we came to Salt Lake, I really struggled. And I am so grateful that Tucker wrote to us and said, my neighbor has a house that he might be willing to rent to you, and that's David Stanley and his wife, Nan McIntyre. And we lived in their beautiful home in the Avenues for the first 5 months while I was struggling with being a minister's wife. And about 3 months into our time here, Patty had a talk with Jan, and she said, you know, Lou's going to be a lot happier if she gets involved with the music. And Jan didn't miss a beat, very graciously said, fine, that'd be great, never do. And so I became the music director here, thanks to Jan, and thanks to Patty talking to Jan. And it's been so much fun. And one of the things I really wanted to do was to try to work together with other religious traditions, and we did that. We were able to meet with an LDS choir and work a whole big program up together, and then our choir went to the Parliament of World Religions and sang with 150 other people from many different traditions. And one of the really great things for me, besides that, was that on days when I would announce to the choir, I'm working on a new song, it'll be done by Sunday, everybody showed up. Thanks to all of you for your amazing support. I'll never forget you.
I love you.
We love you.
Thank you. Thank you. During my time here, it has been a joy to encounter the people who visit our services. I've heard many stories from people who come here for refuge, both among visitors and those of you who have been here for a long time. For years before I came to this community, the rainbow flag has been a symbol of safety to LGBTQ people just driving by on their way home. We have spread courage. Our existence has spread courage. We have shown how this place can be a place not only of refuge, but a place where as a community we can tear down the systems of oppression. One of the most wonderful days as your minister was marrying couples who, like Mary Lou and me, had been together for decades without the safety and promise of a wedding certificate. You were important in breaking that down and allowing that new way to begin. This place has been a haven, and now I want you to make a shift with me. I believe that through the years this place has also become a lighthouse, a bright light that calls to people who are oppressed. And I'm doing this a little different, just like Pastor Vanetta did. I'm preaching to you right now. This is my hope for you. If you have found shelter among us, the work is not over. Use your experience, your feeling of finding shelter, whether it was for whatever reason, and they are myriad here. Find that experience of shelter and give it as a gift. Along with basking in the warm light of community, pitch in and be one of those who stands on the promontory looking for ships in trouble or swimmers washed up on the sand. A working lighthouse off a dangerous coast has lots of needs. Will you be one of those who fixes hot drinks and prepares warm blankets? Or will you be one who remembers the names and stories of those coming seeking shelter? Will you become a fellow lighthouse keeper as those leaders have done in the past years? Or will you march for justice and give voice to those whose lives are at risk? Will you work to destroy those systems of oppression, just as systems of oppression were destroyed for you? Will you destroy them for others? Those systems that are causing this refugee crisis of all kinds along our shores. If you have benefited from the rainbow flag, then look around at the other people now in need, living in fear of being found out and losing their job and their home, as you once were for different reasons. We must be one with the dreamers, with people living with disabilities, with people who are not able to find affordable housing, who cannot support their families, even with 2 jobs. One of the signs this morning at the rally I participated in had the face of Alice Walker and this quotation: "Activism is the rent I pay for living on this planet." If you have found shelter here, pitch in and become workers in this great lighthouse, for this is how you can give back to the world. May you remember that Lou and I love you, and that we had to leave this place because of the air. May that keep you angry enough to make change, to make the change that needs to happen. And I heard as I was coming in all of those stories of solar panels, more panels on houses. But there is much that we need to do at the Capitol. When I went up there for environmental rallies, it was pretty skimpy. And then the worst thing I heard, and Craig Bluen wrote this in his op-ed just weeks before his death, that environmentalists don't vote, and that makes me wonder about you guys. You have to vote. You have to vote. I love this Baptist thing. And in closing, I love you, and I will always love you. And may you be well. May you see your own beauty, the beauty I have seen. May you see the work that is in front of you to do. May you know that you are beloved. And when you know that you are beloved, you must give that gift to those who are washing up on our shores. Amen. And may it be so.
Good evening. It is such a pleasure and a grief to be here. And I don't know how I scored this wonderful section of the program tonight, but I feel really honored to represent each and every one of you up here. This is our opportunity for our community to show and share our love for Patty and for Lou in very tangible ways. And it's a real honor to be able to do that. I came here 3 years ago as a stranger, recently moved here from Minnesota, and my granddaughter Talia and I began visiting various congregations. My husband gave me his blessing to leave our shared Methodist church because I was seeking a community that was more inclusive, and boy did I find it here. Your welcoming message every Sunday morning just really spoke to my heart. And I just kept coming back and realized I'm ready to invest in this community. I want to be a part of this. I want to jump in with both feet. And Patty said, how would you like to chair the welcoming committee? I said, I'd love that. I believe in radical hospitality. I'd like to do that. A year later, she said, well, could you step in and become the vice president of the board of trustees? And I said, what does that require? And so she gave me kind of a basic outline. So I've been learning as I go along, and thanks to Christine Harrell's coaching and other people on the board, it's been a very rich experience. So please don't ever hesitate to say yes to anything people ask you to do, because you will receive far more than you feel like you're giving. It's a very wonderful opportunity. I I'd like to begin tonight with a quote from Mary Oliver. "We need beauty because it makes us ache to be worthy of it." Patty and Lou, you have made us ache through the beauty of your music, your prose, your poetry, and your loving leadership. As you leave us, you will leave us aching for more beauty. But this is good. This is really good because it causes us to stretch and to reach for our better selves. And we will. We want to say thank you in some very tangible ways that you can take with you. So I will be introducing some very special people who will do these presentations. So first of all, I'd like to invite Lori Quigley to come up along with her assistants. So Paula, Dave, and Al. This is so big that just one person can't do it. And this is a gift that has been planned ever since Patty announced her resignation. And our congregation and community wanted to be able to send Patty and Lou with memories and messages of love from us. So we have something that we hope that you will treasure and take with you wherever your lives lead you in the future.
As this comes out, Patty and Lou, this is a gift from the whole congregation. This is De Colores, All the Colors, a Tapestry of Love. Signed blocks from members of the congregation expressing their love and best wishes for you. You'll need that in Arizona. I've heard the desert nights can get kind of, but we hope that you take our love and our blessings with you with this quote.
I love the one that says, "You went on too long."
Oh no, I like the other music better.
Our director of religious exploration, Liz Martin, was very, very sad that she couldn't be here for this special celebration. She and Russ are on a much earned, a much long planned for vacation. However, before she left, she and the youth put together some very special presents. And I'd like to invite Lorelei White and her son Kate to come up and to make this presentation from the youth to Patty and Lou.
On behalf of Liz and our wonderful youth congregation, we'd like to present you with these memory books to show our appreciation for taking this journey with us. Thank you for sharing your love, your heart, your hopes, and we wish you well.
One of the memory books is a photo album, and the other has a list of all of the accomplishments made under Patty's tenure. Sandra Roach put that together along with Lori Quigley, and then there's a scrapbook of memories for them to take with them. Next, I'd like to invite Nan McIntyre and the entire choir to come forward.
After we heard that Lou and Patty would leaving, there was this flurry of surreptitious emails going through the choir. Let's get something for Lou. And these emails were just fast and furious, and they, we finally reached a conclusion, and every time I sent a message, I would double check to make sure Lou's name wasn't. But there were some great ideas coming from the choir, and some very nice financial contributions, which helped my job a lot. And Rosine had recommended a local potter, Ben Behunen, who is really good. And he gave us some sample pots to look at. I took pictures of them, sent them, hoping I didn't send them to Lou. And the whole choir loved this one pot, so I'm here. I'll be with you in a minute. We all thought this was such a beautiful bowl, and it has the mountains, it just kind of has the Utah scene. And on the bottom of it, he wrote, this was what we asked him to write, I'm glad he got it all spelled right. For Lou, with love and gratitude from the South Valley Singers. So, Lou, guess what? I had a little money left over. So I have this picture of the choir framed, and I had this done at this little FedEx office downtown, and this fellow Miguel, who was helping me get it done, he saw the photo and he said, "Is this the South Valley Choir? I know some of these people." And it turns out his mother, Robin, has been a part of the congregation. Talk about a small world. And here's a little card also that I signed for you. We love you.
Next, I'd like to invite Tara Briggs to come forward, please. And Tara, my husband's going to give you a hand to bring you up to the microphone.
I started coming here in December, and I think all of you can relate when I say that it was very entertaining, which was very refreshing for me. And every time there was a particularly beautiful piece of music that I just loved and wanted to play on my flute, it was always something that Lynn had written. So when Patty told me that that they would be leaving, I wanted to do something special, and I love our symbol of a lighted chalice, and I got you both, each of you a pendant of the Unitarian Universalist symbol. And I have an aunt in Idaho. She's my eyes on the internet, and she is very honest with me about that's the most hideous thing I've ever seen. Don't look at that. And that's a keeper. You'll love it. So I got one of these for each of you, and we're all going to miss you so much.
And lastly, I'd like to invite Judy Mayer to come forward, please.
So you inspire so many people, you as a congregation, and when you have somebody who has talents, they want to do their talents to help everybody, and that's what we do here. So, of course, when somebody asked me to paint a painting for a going away president, I did. But they didn't tell me what to paint. So I had to go through that whole scenario. Okay, what boring landscape can I paint, or what would really work out for a painting that would be a memory for them from this congregation. So this is what I did. It's called Memories of Time and Place. And it's a scene of their living room with their dog, Louie, looking out the window. And he's saying, what? We're leaving? What? And around the edge, you can look at it later, it's kind of like chipped and old looking. Because in a few months, this whole memory is going to just be an old memory for them. No, that was pretty bad. But anyway, this is from you. So that's what they get.
Will you all please rise in your spirit as we sing one of our favorite songs, This Little Light of Mine. Now, this is important. Have a little bit of spirit with this. Now, I want you to help play. It's on page 118. Don't you worry what you're looking through. This is the chalice. The chalice. The little, like this little light of mine, right? Okay. And we're going to let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And then everywhere I go, just in case you haven't been there, you hear and know what the motions are, I'll tell you just before, copy what I do.
are together. Here we are, bound together with love, marveling at how much we have done, how much we have loved in this place. We are grateful for the workings of the universe that brought us together at this time, for the mysterious connections that have brought us to this place, and for the love that grew among us. May this place continue to be a place of caring, of prayer shawls and phone calls and hospitality and sometimes silence, and the miracle of unconditional love. May we continue to search our hearts to overcome those empathy walls that are wreaking havoc in this land. May we see the abundance that is ours and then share it with each other and the world. May you be well and whole and beloved. Amen. Amen. And the choir will sing Alleluia.
One day during choir practice, Mrs. Sutton said, I can do this without music, and then everybody simultaneously dropped their voice. And they never used music since.
Alleluia.
now extinguish the chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of action. Those we take out into our community and into the world. Amen. Thank you. And now I believe we're going to have some drumming and fun and lots of hugs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Just a quick announcement. It'll take us a couple of minutes to get ready, so hold tight. And be ready to sing along, dance along, and play along with us.